There's a moment in every journey when your mind screams, I can't do this anymore. And that moment, that single heartbeat of doubt decides everything. Because the truth is this, the moment you quit, you don't just lose progress, you lose possibility. You lose the version of yourself that could have made it, the one who was just one more try away from everything you wanted. You might not see it now, but every small act of persistence is building something massive. Every time you push through the noise, the fear, the exhaustion, you're moving closer to something that your future self will thank you for. But here's the harsh truth. When you quit, you don't just stop your progress. You destroy the bridge to the life you could have lived. You silence the voice inside you that believes in your potential. Quitting doesn't end pain, it extends it. Because when you walk away from your dream, it doesn't disappear. It follows you as regret. There's a reason why the final stretch feels the hardest. It's because you're being tested. The pressure, the doubt, the setbacks, they're not there to stop you. They're there to see if you're serious. Everyone can start, but not everyone finishes. The world doesn't reward intentions, it rewards endurance. You can't reach the top if you keep turning back at the first sign of struggle. That's what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Every champion you've ever admired has wanted to quit at some point. Every success story has a chapter where they nearly gave up. The difference between those who made it and those who didn't wasn't talent, it was persistence. They didn't walk away when it hurt. They didn't let the pain convince them that it wasn't worth it. They understood something most people forget. Temporary pain is always better than permanent regret, so when you hit that breaking point, and you will, don't let your emotions make the decision for you. Take a breath. Remember why you started. Remember who you're doing this for. You can rest, you can cry, you can feel frustrated, but don't quit. Because the moment you quit, you lose everything you've worked for, and the truth is you're always closer than you think. The next step might be the one that changes your life forever. Life doesn't get easier. You get stronger. Every obstacle you face is shaping you into someone who can handle what's coming next. The universe is not against you. It's preparing you. Every delay, every challenge, every closed door is molding your mindset, sharpening your discipline, and toughening your spirit. The struggle isn't there to stop you. It's there to prove to you that you were built for more. So, the next time you feel like walking away, remember this. You haven't come this far just to quit now. The moment you stop pushing is the moment you stop growing. Keep going, because your next step might be the one that makes everything worth it. When you quit, it doesn't make the pain disappear. It just replaces one kind of pain with another. The pain of wondering what could have been. You might think that quitting gives you relief, that walking away will bring peace, but deep down it doesn't. Because when you quit, you don't just stop the effort, you stop the possibility. You close the door on every future that could have existed if you had held on a little longer. The version of you that was just one step away from breaking through, that version fades into a what if. And that's the kind of pain that never truly goes away. Every dream comes with a price, the price of discomfort, struggle, and sacrifice. And it's easy to look at all that effort and think it's not worth it when things get hard. But quitting doesn't save you. It costs you more than the struggle ever will. Because when you quit, you lose more than a dream. You lose trust in yourself. You lose the belief that you can finish what you start. That loss doesn't just stay with this goal, it follows you into the next one. You start doubting your ability to endure. You begin to question your strength, even when life gives you another chance. The truth is, the pain of perseverance is temporary, but the pain of quitting lasts far longer. The discomfort you feel right now will fade. The exhaustion, the frustration, the uncertainty, they all pass. But regret lingers. Regret is the quiet ache that whispers, you could have been more. It shows up years later in conversations, in memories, in the moments you realize you had what it took, but you stopped too soon. That's the real cost of quitting. It doesn't break you all at once. It chips away at your confidence, your identity, and your purpose. The moments when you want to quit are the same moments that define you. That's where strength is built. Because persistence isn't about never wanting to give up. It's about refusing to listen when that voice tells you to. It's about understanding that the fight isn't against failure. It's against surrender. Every time you push forward when it hurts, you prove to yourself that you're stronger than your excuses. You remind yourself that you can endure more than you thought possible. And that endurance builds character, courage, and conviction. Things no one can ever take away from you. So when you reach that point where quitting feels like the only option, pause. Don't make decisions based on fatigue or fear. Remember what you're fighting for. Remember that the pain you feel now is building something you can't see yet. The discomfort is temporary, but what you're creating lasts a lifetime. Every time you resist the urge to quit, you protect your future, your pride, and your purpose. You keep the door open to everything that could still happen, and that's worth every ounce of effort it takes to keep going. When you quit, it doesn't erase the pain. It only replaces it with something worse, the pain of wondering what might have been. In the moment, quitting feels like relief. It feels like escape. But that feeling fades fast, and what's left is emptiness. You don't just lose progress when you stop trying, you lose potential. You give up the version of yourself that was just one more push away from the breakthrough. You walk away from the person you were becoming. And that's the hardest truth to face, that the dream was never the problem, the timing never the problem, the struggle never the problem. The only problem was stopping. Pain, exhaustion, failure, they're not signals to quit. They're signs that you're growing. When you hit the wall and everything inside you screams to stop, that's when you're closest to transformation. Most people confuse discomfort with defeat. They think the struggle means it's not meant for them. But the truth is, the struggle means you're getting closer. You're stretching into the next level of yourself. And if you quit in that moment, you'll never get to see what all that pain was preparing you for. Every single person who's built something incredible has faced that voice that said, it's not worth it. We all hit the point where everything inside them wanted to give up, but they didn't. And that's why they made it. Quitting is easy. Enduring is rare. The moment you decide to keep going, despite the doubt, despite the fear, is the moment you start separating yourself from the rest. That's where real progress begins. And here's the thing. Quitting doesn't just end the journey, it rewires how you see yourself. Every time you quit, you teach your mind that giving up is an option, that comfort is more important than purpose. But when you stay, when you fight through, you build a kind of power that changes everything. You start trusting yourself. You start believing that you can handle whatever comes next. That belief, that unshakable confidence, becomes the foundation for every future success. So don't mistake quitting for relief. The pain you feel now is temporary, but the regret of stopping will follow you for years. We'll see moments where you could have made it, times when you were closer than you realized. You'll wonder what would have happened if you had just held on one more day, one more try, one more step. That thought alone is heavier than any struggle you face now. The truth is, pain is part of the process. It's not punishment, it's preparation. It's life testing your commitment to what you say you want. And if you can stand in that pain, if you can hold on through it, you'll reach something far more powerful than success. You'll reach pride. The kind that comes from knowing you didn't give up when you could have. The kind that reminds you that you were built for more than giving in. And that's the power that quitting will never give you. Pain is one of life's greatest teachers, but most people run from it before they ever learn the lesson. When something hurts, the first instinct is to stop, to pull back, to protect ourselves. But what we often forget is that pain is not the enemy, it's the process. Every time you face pain and keep moving forward, you are building something far more powerful than comfort. You're building strength, discipline, and resilience, the invisible muscles that will carry you when everything else feels impossible. The truth is, temporary pain is not here to destroy you. It's here to prepare you for the weight of your future success. When you look at the people who've built something extraordinary, it's easy to see the result, but not the pain behind it. Every success story is rooted in sacrifice. The long nights, the failures, the rejections, the loneliness, that's the real foundation of greatness. They didn't get there because things were easy. They got there because they were willing to suffer a little longer than everyone else. Every painful moment carved a new layer of strength. Every setback sharpened their will, and every failure taught them what no success ever could. Pain molds you into someone who can handle what you once thought was unbearable. The mind has this powerful ability to remember comfort and forget struggle. It always tries to protect you, to keep you in what feels safe. But growth doesn't happen in safety. It happens when you step into the discomfort, when you embrace the uncertainty, when you keep showing up even when everything hurts. That pain you're feeling now is a sign that you're stretching beyond who you were yesterday. It's your body and mind adapting, evolving, becoming stronger. You might not see it now, but the struggle you're enduring today is building the foundation for the strength you'll rely on tomorrow. When you run from pain, you stay the same, but when you face it, you transform. You start to realize that pain doesn't break you. It exposes you. It shows you where your limits are and then gives you the chance to push past them. It reveals what you really believe about yourself, how badly you want what you say you want. The more you face pain head on, the more you start to trust yourself. You stop fearing the hard parts of life because you've been there before and made it through. That confidence becomes unshakable. It's the kind of strength that no one can give you and no one can take away. And when the pain finally passes, because it always does, what's left is power. Power to endure, to rise, to chase things most people are too afraid to pursue. That's why temporary pain is worth it. It might sting now, but it's shaping you into the kind of person who doesn't just survive challenges, you conquer them. Every moment of discomfort you're enduring right now is building a version of you that's unstoppable. Every powerful story ever told has a breaking point. That single, painful moment where everything feels impossible, where the hero stands face to face with defeat. That moment isn't there by accident. It's the test that determines what kind of person you really are. It's the space between almost and achievement, between wanting something and earning it. Very person who has ever accomplished something meaningful has hit that wall. That heavy silence where it would have been easier to just give up. But they didn't. They made the choice to keep going, even when every part of them wanted to stop. And that's what turned their struggle into their story. It's easy to look at success from the outside and think it was smooth, that the people who made it had something special, luck, talent, or opportunity. But what most people never see are the nights filled with doubt, the failures that almost broke them, the times when nobody believed in them anymore. Those moments don't get shared, but they're the real turning points. Every person who's achieved greatness had to face the same voice that told them, "It's not working, you're wasting your time." The difference is, they didn't listen. They understood that pain and pressure aren't signs to quit. They're proof that something extraordinary is being built. The breaking point is not the end. It's the doorway to transformation. It's the moment that forces you to decide whether you're doing this for applause or for purpose. Because when everything falls apart, when it feels like no one's watching and nothing is working, that's when your true motivation is exposed. Are you doing it because it's easy or because it matters? Those who push through that moment discover something most people never experience: the satisfaction of earning every inch of progress through grit and resilience. That kind of victory can't be handed to you. It must be fought for. In the middle of that breaking point, you learn things about yourself you never knew before. You learn that you can survive without validation. You learn that you can keep moving without guarantees. You learn that success isn't about never falling. It's about never staying down. That realization changes you. It rewires your mindset from fragile to fearless. Because once you've seen yourself stand up from rock bottom, nothing can scare you again. You understand that pain is temporary, but pride lasts forever. Every great story follows this pattern: struggle, breakdown, breakthrough. The middle part, the breakdown, is where most people stop. But that's where transformation actually happens. It's where strength is born, where confidence is forged, and where purpose becomes unshakable. When you feel like everything is crumbling, remember that this is the moment that defines your story. The difference between failure and success isn't talent or luck. It's what you decide to do when everything inside you wants to quit. That's the choice that shapes everything that comes after. It's easy to lose sight of how close you really are when progress feels invisible. Most people give up not because they're incapable, but because they can't see how near they are to a breakthrough. The hardest part of any journey always comes right before things start to change. That's the point where everything feels slow, heavy, and hopeless, when effort doesn't seem to match results. But that's also the point where persistence matters the most. Every step you take, no matter how small, is compounding into something powerful. Just because you can't see the progress yet doesn't mean it's not happening. Growth often happens quietly, underneath the surface, And by the time you notice it, it's already transformed everything. When you're working towards something big, your mind will convince you that nothing's moving. It will make you question if all this effort is even worth it. But the truth is, success is a series of invisible wins, small moments of discipline, tiny acts of consistency, silent battles no one ever sees. Those are the moments that separate dreamers from doers. You might not realize it, but every time you show up despite frustration, you're getting stronger. Every time you push through exhaustion, you're building endurance. Every time you choose to keep going, you're proving to yourself that quitting isn't an option anymore. You're teaching yourself how to fight even when it's hard to believe in the fight. The finish line in life rarely looks the way we imagine it. Sometimes it's just one more phone call, one more try, one more sunrise of effort away. But most people never find out because they stop too soon. They let doubt trick them into thinking the struggle means failure, when it really means they're on the edge of something big. Success has a strange habit of showing up right after you've convinced yourself it's never going to happen. That's why it's so important to keep going, even when your emotions say otherwise. The hardest part of the climb always happens closest to the top. When everything in you wants to quit, remind yourself how far you've already come. Think about the person you were when you started, uncertain, scared, unsure, and realize how much stronger you've become since then. You've survived days you thought would break you. You've pushed through pain, failure, and disappointment. You've already proven you can endure. So why stop now, when you might be one effort away from everything you've been working for? That's the truth most people forget. You're often standing inches away from the moment that changes your life, but only persistence reveals it. Progress isn't always loud, and transformation isn't always obvious. Sometimes it's happening quietly while you're doubting yourself, while you're struggling to keep going. But one day, everything you've been building will reveal itself, and you'll realize that every sleepless night, every setback, every ounce of effort was worth it, because you were always closer than you thought. There comes a moment in every journey when the weight feels unbearable, when you've given everything you have and life still demands more. That's the moment most people stop. They convince themselves that maybe it wasn't meant to be, that maybe the dream was too big or the timing too wrong. But the truth is, that moment isn't a dead end. It's a test. It's life asking you, do you really want this? Because the people who make it, the ones who build something extraordinary, are not the ones who never struggle. They're the ones who refuse to quit when it gets hard. They understand that every setback, every failure, every sleepless night is shaping them into someone stronger, wiser, and more determined. The moment you quit, you lose everything. Not just your progress, but the version of yourself that was being built in the process. You lose the proof that you could have made it. But when you keep going, even when it hurts, you create momentum that no one can take from you. You turn doubt into drive, pain into power, and fear into fuel. The dream doesn't come to the person who wants it most. It comes to the one who refuses to stop chasing it. So, if you're standing at that breaking point right now, tired, frustrated, unsure, let me tell you this: don't quit. You've come too far to turn back now. The struggle you're facing isn't punishment, it's preparation. It's teaching you how to handle what's waiting for you on the other side. Every great story, every powerful victory starts with someone who refused to give up when everything inside them said to. That someone can be you. Keep pushing, keep believing, keep showing up even when no one's watching. Because your future self is watching, and one day they'll look back at this very moment and whisper, "Thank you for not quitting." That gratitude, that pride, that sense of fulfillment, that's what you're fighting for. That's what makes every sacrifice worth it. You are closer than you think, and your breakthrough is waiting for the version of you that refuses to surrender. And as you walk out of this moment, remember this: persistence is power. You don't have to have everything figured out. You just have to have the courage to take the next step. The pain will pass, the struggle will fade, but what you build by not giving up will last forever. Thank you for listening. Thank you for showing up for yourself today. If this message spoke to you, hold on to it. Carry it into the days when life gets hard, and remind yourself that you were made for more. Keep going, keep growing, and never stop believing in what you're capable of. Because one day you'll look back and realize that this moment, this choice, this fight was the beginning of everything. Goodbye for now, and thank you. Stay strong, stay focused, and remember, you're just one decision away from changing your entire life.